The Mahabharata, attributed to sage Vyas, is a vast text containing over 100,000 verses. It blends mythology with real human emotions, conflicts, and decisions. While many dismiss it as purely mythological, archaeological and astronomical studies suggest that it may have a historical foundation. Archaeological evidence. Sites like Hastinapur, Kurukshetra, and Dwarka have been excavated, revealing remnants of ancient settlements that could correlate with descriptions in the Mahabharata. Though no conclusive proof directly confirms the war, the correlation of physical evidence with epic references cannot be ignored. Astronomical dating. Several scholars have attempted to date the Mahabharata war using celestial configurations described in the text. Estimates range between 3000 BCE to 1500 BCE, aligning with the end of the Indus Valley civilization and early Vedic age. 2. Understanding the Y chromosome. The Y chromosome is passed down from father to son and represents the paternal line. Unlike other chromosomes, it doesn't recombine, so it retains a record of male ancestry over generations. Geneticists study it to trace lineage and population movements. Over the past few decades, researchers have observed that certain male lineages suddenly reduce or even disappear from historical genetic records. These phenomena are referred to as Y chromosome bottlenecks. 3. Genetic bottlenecks in history. One major bottleneck is believed to have occurred about 5,000 to 7,000 years ago. A study published in Nature Genetics in 2015 found that, during this period, the diversity of Y chromosome lineages dropped sharply. This suggests that a large number of men died or were otherwise excluded from reproduction. Some explanations include violent conflicts or wars wiping out entire male populations, social restructuring, where only certain lineages were allowed to reproduce, epidemics and famines. 4. Could the Mahabharata war be linked to the Y chromosome decline? This is where the theory gets fascinating. The Kurukshetra war, as described in the epic, was catastrophic. According to the text, over 1.6 billion warriors fought, which may be symbolic or exaggerated. Only 12 warriors survived on both sides. Entire lineages, including the mighty Kauravas and almost all of the Pandavs' army, were wiped out. If such a war or series of wars did occur, they could have led to the mass death of men across royal and warrior clans, collapse of entire Y DNA lines, with few male survivors to carry them forward, social restructuring that prioritized the lineage of the survivors, example, Parikshit, grandson of Arjuna, who became king. Such a scenario could produce a sharp Y chromosome bottleneck, matching the one observed in genetic studies from that time frame. 5. Modern genetic support for the theory. Researchers from Stanford and other institutions have hypothesized that male-dominated wars and tribal skirmishes could be responsible for these sudden drops in Y DNA diversity. India's ancient history, filled with kingdoms, dynasties, and recurring conflicts, fits this hypothesis. If the Mahabharata war happened, or if it symbolizes a larger series of battles and upheavals, it could very well be a genetic milestone, leaving marks that we can still trace today. 6. Bridging mythology and science. While mythology and science often seem to oppose each other, they can be surprisingly complementary. The Mahabharata offers a narrative lens into what could have been a real and traumatic period in human history. And now, with the tools of genetics, archaeology, and astronomy, we may be approaching a point where epic tales begin to align with data. The Mahabharata might not just be literature, it could be a memory of real wars, real loss, and real transformations in human society and biology. The possibility that the Mahabharata war coincided with or contributed to a Y chromosome decline is a compelling thought. Whether taken as symbolic truth or historical reality, the epic reminds us of the fragility of civilization and the long-lasting impacts of war. What once seemed like an imaginative story could, with modern science, prove to be a record of deep and lasting genetic, social, and historical change.